Hello and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have a low elo Sylas versus a low elo Poppy. Now the Sylas is bronze, the Poppy has been silver for many years. She is still silver but floating with that demotion shield 0 LP, so a nice all-encompassing low elo game for us. We have of course the Poppy on the gameplay channel. We looked at a high elo Poppy player showcasing exactly how to play this champion with peak mechanics, peak decision making, so hopefully along with that. And this, you have all the Poppy content you need, as well as a bit of an update on what we can do with Sylas in this elo. Obviously, most of us should not be playing Sylas at the moment because champion not so good. He has a bit of a decent pick rate, but since the reduction spam ganking and obviously, you know, the meta shifting quite drastically, his coin flip nature is not as free-willing as it has been. Although we'll see how it goes. In addition to the free jungle improvement PDF available on Virkayu.gg, there are also copious amounts of courses and coaching for your specific MMR. One of those is the Iron and Bronze course, which allows you to get to Silver, along with a Silver course that allows you to get Gold, a beautiful bundle of everything you need to escape elo hell. In Bronze and in Silver, the video course will basically deconstruct why you do what you do and how to fix those things that are holding you back. Why spend hundreds of hours figuring out what it takes to become a gold jungler, when instead you can have all of the information distilled directly into your veins, such that you can have it in a few weeks. That sounds pretty good to me if you can apply all the principles that quickly. Head to Virkayu.gg, the jungler's learning paradise. Poppy in this particular case has a lot of versatility. Why? Because in this elo, do you really need to force an early action play because her clear isn't as fast as a meta jungler? You don't have to force it. It's a good idea to try, and I definitely do advise it, but you can always kind of do a red side quadrant into a gank. You can look to do this. Against ganking junglers, you're not going to get evade. I mean, look at this. Look at this. So even as Poppy, we're going Dark Harvest. That's absolutely fine. You can go the face rush in high elo, definitely more so recommended. You know, here, you don't know this, but you always know if a Sylas gets leashed in low elo and he's being helped on the blue side, you know the guy, if he hasn't shown about like 241 for cheese gank, level 2 gank, he's probably pathing to the top side. So we can cut in and invade on almost any jungler because of how low this guy gets. And Poppy obviously has the benefit of, hey, look, they're not going to rotate too quickly. Obviously, pay attention to prior, and if they do rotate, right? In this case, the Akali does have pressure. The Urgot can rotate quicker than your Yone. So you don't want to go out and have a nice, big, juicy fight. But look at this. You've cut your red side. You cut through here. You're sitting in this bush. You're like, yes. And now he wards, which is, this is atypical. You're not going to see this a lot for bronze people, which is why in the course I talk about it. It's good to do. I'm like, guys, you should do this. If you anticipate an invade and you're a low HP full clearing jungler, ward, protect. Although in this case, putting it here at a 1 minute zone, you know, over here at a 1 minute zone allows you to see if there's any sort of setup and cheese. But in the case you didn't do that, this is fine, right? We can go ahead and ward while we do it. At the same time, if you do this and the Poppy's waiting in the bush, which she should be doing, then she's just going to press the magic button, which of course is her W, so you can't E away. Although we have primed our E, so we're not going anywhere as it is. And then she's going to stun you against the wall, get the stun, and most likely kill you with her 8% max HP Q, which of course will do 8% max HP on the explosion as well, which is being buffed next patch. That Q of Poppy's is going to be doing not 16 total percentage max HP damage on the initial hit and the damage proc afterwards, but 18. Like, what? That's so much. She's going to be huge next patch. Mark this space with that. Although, again, I wouldn't be full clearing. Now, at this stage, if you're going to do the full red quadrant into this, I am upset because one of the worst mathematical clears you can have is this clear, where you 5 camp into the scuttle, into the Grom. It has always been one of the worst. You know why? Because it essentially means you're so damn slow for your 5 camper, for your full clear, that the crab spawns before you can finish. Which makes no sense when the crab is now spawning at 3 minutes 30 and not 3 minutes 15. And that clear was the worst back in the day as well. Where are we going exactly? What is this journey on which we are? Where are we going? What are we doing? What's happening here? Why? This explains to me why this player, no offense, has been silver for many years. All right. I don't know why you would necessarily go venturing around. Look, the Sylas is not invading you. The Sylas couldn't care less. The Sylas has now done a full clear faster than Poppy because you wasted this time. This is also a good metric to showcase to you. Look, in silver and bronze, you guys are way too passive when it comes to your clears. Hey, look, look at this. The guy's full cleared up, walked around a little bit, sitting in the bush at 419. His Grump's about to spawn. Well, it's Sylas, so it's a little later, but the Grump is going to spawn around that 4 minute 20 mark in general. but Krugs are going to spawn in a few seconds as well. Again, in general, the general timers, and we're still on our first rotation topside. This is the problem. You're 30 seconds behind tempo versus any other jungler of a higher rank. And imagine what you could do if I give you 30 seconds head start or 30 seconds to do whatever you wanted to do on the map. What would you do? What could you do? How would that feel? Exactly. So skip the Krugs, just do your 5 camper, and then gank the top lane, or then gank the mid lane. And then, of course, the Sylas shows up, and you just fist him, take this, cut across, take this. Now you can kind of jungle this and ward this, because he probably goes to this. You always got to think like that. Alternatively, look, I'm going to do the red side quadrant. If I can gank this, I will. I'm going top side. I've got my blue side to fall back to. I know Sylas is starting down here and going to be really, really low. Why didn't I just cut through here and say, goodbye? Take it, kill it, gank it, snack it, and you can fall back to your blue side if you wanted to, or you can go for the double scuttle high pressure. Don't think you necessarily want to do that in this elo, but options. Because we do a super duper slow 5 camper, super duper slow, we go for the scuttle crab, now we fall back to the grumble, we waste time. So this isn't good at all from any jungler's perspective. The Sylas E's and telegraphs his position, that wasn't going to hit anyway, and we could have just used grounded, but you know what? From the Sylas' perspective, hey, valiant. Now, of course, now we think we're being wise and sneaky, but we're not being wise and sneaky. And obviously now you've got to assess who has the bottom lane prior. Poppy should basically say, look, I done a bottom lane prior. No. Very good. Leave. Just hit the plant, see what's up, and now shadow back down. If there's no wards and you kind of hit the cone over this bush, you can see if it's warded or not, and then you could trap as they come back. Now you got a 3v3. But essentially, if you're thinking about playing Poppy jungle, watch the gameplay review on the gameplay channel. elo stuff showcases to you how to essentially gain tempo with her, even if you have really bad starts. Like I'm talking, you die and you can't even do your buff. What do you do? How do you get tempo control as a Poppy? Because she's not Sylas in terms of clearing, but she's not Karthus either. Middle of the road. Got to look for those advantages that you can get. Now, of course, we haven't even taken the bottom side Krug camp because we were so slow. We see the gank in the mid lane now, 517, so we know we can hit that. Well, it was close enough. She does have flash that she can kind of hold. And she holds it. She has the threat of it. There's no point chasing it. But this is what I was talking about on the main channel video yesterday, where you do something that takes you too long. You make the wrong decision somewhere. Then you take one camp from a quadrant and you go back to base. Now you've left this one up. So now you're like, well, do I go bottom side to do this and gank bottom lane, but then I got nothing else here at all? Or do I go top side where I know I'm going to have wolves and grump spawning, but my wolves and grump aren't spawning together because I didn't full clear a sequence properly in the first rotation? So essentially what you're doing is leaving base now with one wolf camp, one krug camp. This will obviously spawn in a short while. And this you just took. You 50-50'd 2 quadrants with 1 camp each. And you've just put yourself in this absolute hole. So watch the main channel video to explain more about why and how we can avoid this. But at the same time, the simple fix is just have a good full clear, understand your game plan, and when you want to go back to base either before you do the quadrant or finish the quadrant, unless, of course, you have enough for a gold. So essentially here you might say, oh, you know, I didn't have the best start, like I'm a Warwick, and I really want that Tiamat, so I'm going to do these Raptors, right? But then you're doing this with the intent of doing something specific afterwards. Now, when you go back to base and you get your Tiamat, obviously, you'd say, well, now there's only Krug camp. That's okay. If my goal was, hey, look, I know Sylas is going topside. I can easily take this, gank this, and snack this, and then maybe invade the blue. That's your game plan, right? Likewise, if you were to say full clear on a volley bear, take a scuttle, drive by mid lane, you try to get this, but you couldn't, then instead of doing the Raptors, we go down and do the Krugs into the Raptors, and then we can reset, right? And if you finish the Krugs and you have your itemization, then you can go back to base, and now you can effectively say, look, yeah, the Raptors are up, but I can always go Raptors to the blue side to gank the top lane, or I can gank the top lane and path down, snack the Raptors, and cut in for the dragon, bottom lane gank, or what have you. And of course, by the time you do that, your Krugs would have reset again. So again, the main channel video will provide a bit more context and graphics for explanation, but hopefully just running through those scenarios gives you some idea of, hey, look, I shouldn't really be in a situation where I can go bottom side for 1 camp or top side for 1 camp with nothing else on the map, especially at 6 minutes. You know, it's really, we're level 4 at 6 minutes. It should not be. And the Sylas, in the meantime, bless his soul, went for the alternator, but he still was able to full clear, drive by this, take this, do this, do this. I can go back to base, take this, do this, gank this, and then counter jungle this if you show bottom lane. So you're giving him these opportunities. Will he take it? Let's see. Poppy decides to do the Krug camp, float on down to the bottom lane, Can I get the E? Yes, she can. She can get that auto Q. We get the cookie for the shield, and we get a nice kill. So methodical, slow, calculated, cool. We take that. But she's now super, super low. Plant, 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 plant. Sylas, I wanted to see what he's doing. Ooh. So he's not thinking about the counter jungling. He's just going to float on down, which is, of course, his mistake. Poppy's low. You know she's most likely going to reset. Now, quiz yourself very quickly. It's silver, bronze. She's going to go back to base because she's low. The red buff has spawned on the map, and you know this because global timers. You see the RNG Scuttle Crab spawning as well. Where do you think Poppy will go after she goes back to base? Probably the red buff, right? Which means this could be a very easy counter jungle into a drive by mid lane, knowing that she has no flash. Now, you have to understand your champion. You have to understand your angle of approach. You have to know what the Cassiopeia is going to do. All of that factors into your ganking assessment here, but I like that concept of saying, look, I don't really care about this. I don't care. And if I can get the prior here from this, and I see the Poppy do this, well, now we can collapse on that because, of course, it's a Zyra Ezreal lane, so we got a bit of range advantage there as well. And if you're the Sylas, you know that the Poppy shows up here. 28 CS, right? Full clip plus Scuttle Crab. We know that she shows up again here with 32, which means we know she did the Raptors. She goes back to base. She goes down here with 36, so we know she did the Krugs. So we know that a blue side are available. And you can replay that slowly if you want to, but it's pretty straightforward. Okay, she decides, you know what, actually I'm going to do the red buff. And again, that works out for Sylas, right? We'd be stealing the Gromp, we'd be stealing the Wolf Camp, we can drive by the mid lane. If we're healthy enough, if we're not, then we can always just cut across or go back to base and come straight down and maybe still get the Scuttle Crab because it works out for us regardless. So the Poppy decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to snack that red. I'm going to go for this. Sylas says, can I hit the Chains of Destiny? He does not. Remember, Thresh is in base here. We get a little bit of that juicy HP back. We do have that advantage. Our Zyra has prior. The Poppy's coin flipping the Scuttle Crab. She's not doing what she should do. Effectively, she has the same kind of ganking, you know, skirmishy nature, but she doesn't really have to play like this at all. She doesn't have to play this game. Like, he has 6 now. She doesn't. She's lower on the lower side, and again, took this, got a kill, which was great, but now, wait, where's the Sylas going? Is Sylas feeling a bit spicy? I don't know. I mean, I think you could just push her off and take a Raptors, right? You can push her off, take a Raptors, so on, but he's liking the dive here, and oh, that's a good, he gets, he gets hooked there, and now he's taking a lot of damage. We can always use our flash to get out. The Poppy does go back to base, so hey! Oh, well, executed. That's actually so good. So, I always tell you guys to go for the dives in these elos. I wasn't sure if the Poppy was going to stay or cancel a base, which was my concern. And of course, she decided to base, so we can pull the trigger on that. The Zyra takes aggro and gets executed, which is exactly what you want to be doing. Now the Poppy comes straight to the bottom side again. Repeat, going to the same side, just for the intent of fighting, is not the way we want to play the game. Sylas is now Bing shilling. He has the ultimate here, but Kai'Sa's going to show up. Your Zyra's not going to show up. This is now the coin flip. I don't think this is the situation we want to be in, even if we get one back. You know, like, yeah, we get one back, but I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about that stuff. The stuff we care about is our econ, the objectives, and getting laners ahead. Now, you don't get laners ahead, right? You give Poppy a free pass. You give Kai'Sa some kills. You can potentially now give up Dragon, although I don't think that's going to be a situation that we need to worry about because Akali has prior. Good job recognizing that. Now we go to the bottom side again. See what I'm saying? This overstay is not point it has no point. We got the kill, we got the execute. Let's just shove it, literally shove it, and everyone leave. You can take your blue side quadrant, go back to base, and not float with the top side plus a hero plus invade. Because the Poppy again will most likely go to the bottom side, as they do, because they want to drag in and they want to snowball bot lane. Better for you just to finish up your quadrant now after this gank and shove. Go back to base, and now you can control top side. Can we gank the Yone? Can we counter jungle when Poppy shows the bottom lane again? Then we can fall back to this, and now we can do our red side. That's an amazing example of the outside in rule, right? Because yes, you'd want to do these first initially, but if you saw the Poppy down bot lane, hey, I can go and gank, I can take her stuff, I can fall back to this, then I can fall back to my red side. So it can always work out for you, and if it doesn't, you still have your camps on the top side. Regardless, we have a lot of deep vision here actually from the blue side. This is really, really good. Not used to seeing that whatsoever. Sylas goes to the mid lane, burns the flash again. The Cassiopeia turns the ultimate. Chase down, chase down. Akali repositions, goes back in. Poppy rotates. Can we get something? She chucks. Well done. Well done. The passive was up. Gives that extended attack range for the attack. The Oreo pops off. It's up every, what is it, like 10 seconds or something like that? Yeah, 10 seconds. There we go. And it gives her the shield, but also gives that extended range. So she just turbo sprints in, chucks that Oreo button, and gets the kill. That was really well done, actually. And, you know, the Sheen proc is huge on the Q. We obviously have Divine Sundra being a super good item on her. I talk a lot about Poppy's kit and itemization in the gameplay channel, more so on that channel. Now we're just deciding, hey, let's go for this here. But as always, do we have the ability to solo it, win the fight solo, and will top laner rotate? Always is the pick up your Oreo. It's a free shield. She doesn't do it. Now Yona's going in. We have the ult from the Urgot. Goodbye, Pajama Man. Nice E there, but of course Akali will rotate here. There we go. Just a little sweet kill. This happens a lot in this elo. And I understand, hey, look, I want to do the dragon. Hey, look, I want to do the herald. What's the worst thing that could happen? And if it does happen, are you willing to accept that? What's the probability that it does happen? If it's 50-50, then why are you coin flipping? Same thing here. I did a VOD coaching yesterday. Why are you coin flipping this dragon if there's a possibility the enemy jungler comes out of base with like 2,000 more gold spent than you and steals it and kills you and forces a fight and the enemy ADC gets triple kill from it? Is that a possibility? Yes? Okay, then what's the probability of it happening? 50-50? All right, then don't do it. Same thing here. You telegraph it. It's obvious the Sylas is going to rotate. Your Yona is obviously not going to rotate because why would he? What could we do instead? We could just counter jungle, shove him off a little bit if he stays mid lane to hold. Or we can always fall back to this and loop back around. You know, there's a lot of possibilities that we can actually leverage in that scenario. Or worst case scenario, you just have to give it up and go down. But then you could gank bottom lane. He gets this. We get to gank this, shove on this, and take this. So it's always about thinking. Sometimes you just have to give something up, but what can I get instead? If you don't think like that, you'll be in rough situations. Now we're going to go to the bottom lane here. We're looking for the position for our nice mega stun on the E, of which of course we hit. Zyra has no flash, so that should always be free. We have a W for the arcane shift of the Ezreal if we were to get on him, but in this particular case, it's just a little bit of magic damage as well. Not a lot, as you can see, scales with AP, but small amount, a little bit of magic penetration from Divine Sundra gives us that nice damage profile, right? I mean, every bit of damage counts when you're looking at like 1,000 damage that you do. Doesn't matter if 50 to 100 comes from like a spell you don't scale. If an item or the damage helps you get the kill, we are grateful for this. And she does a lot of damage for this kind of tank, and of course she's being buffed. The bonus resistances that she gets on her W that are doubled when she's below 40% HP, that is being increased from 10% to 12% next patch as well, this one right here. So you're looking at a tankier Poppy. I Scuttle Crab, but I think it's fine. Like, if you lose a Scuttle Crab here, then you say, well, why did I go back here first into this? Why didn't I do this and then go back into this? Always hypotheticals. But I think with Prior here, we can take this up nicely. You see the pings going off. Sylas is like, yes, I should get this. You see? Regardless, you got the gank of bot lane. You got the dragon. You're seeing the Sylas here. You're pinging this. Do we want to go ahead and coin for this fight, or do you want to go and steal something? See, now, for me, like, go into his jungle. The blue buff is spawned, the grump is available. Leave some vision behind. Let's take all of his shit and then repeat gank the bottom lane if they stay. That sounds nice. Because you're going to lose this regardless. And of course, if you're doing this and they base in your Poppy, and you're in his blue side jungle, you can always loop back over and rotate to this 2v2 should you feel like you can actually do it. That being said, we have 1,000 pockets, so, you know, it's not too much, it's not too little. We could definitely maybe think about doing something here. Obviously, Cassio is low. At some point, mechanics do factor in, as the Sylas is showing us, and the Cassiopeia is showing us. But the Poppy ends up going up to the wolf camp, circling around a little bit. We'll lose this now, no plates, has no purpose, versus yes, okay, nice, cool or cool. Pick a direction, pick an action. As soon as you get something nice, look outward first, especially if you know the Sylas is somewhere else. Now, of course, we're defending a turret I don't think we should necessarily defend. We lose our flash forward. In this particular case, let it shove, take this, catch the wave, absorb the experience, go to the top side if you want to, or go back to base if you need to. So a couple of nice plays from the Sylas. You know, he's still getting a few things. He's 3-2-2. It's solid. We have here the Poppy, you know, existing 3-1-3. Like, it could feel good in game. You could feel like, hey, I'm doing a good job. But then when you point everything out, it's like, there's so many more things I could do, especially against junglers and laners of this elo. Nice there by the Zyra. Nice there by the Sylas. Thresh, not so good. We have the TP being committed here by the Cassiopeia. No real reason for this. You're going to lose this turret anyway. Just shove, 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 shove. And if you're the Poppy, we gank this and shove, or we help the Cassiopeia when we shove. Then we do some counter jungling. That's what you want to do. Yone! Button pressing. Yes. Oh, wait. Haha, yes. Smited. So the Cassiopeia here now wants to shove this. You want to try and take this turret while they invest 4 people down bot. Poppy, you don't want to do your grump. You want to shadow this, try and help with this damage. Once you see the rotation, cut up, at least take 1 camp, and then you can maybe still gank top lane regardless because the Urgot's probably not noticing. Or you can just go straight top lane as well. Either way, when you see a jungler here, can I take his stuff? When you see a jungler here, can I take his stuff? When I see a jungler here, can I take the dragon? That's how you have to think. And too often you're seeing we just fall back to our jungle after every cool play, and we're not maximizing the bounty. Not bounties, but the bounty of the map, fruits of the map. We finally have Divine Sundra. Yone is going to get that turret, which is super good, super gaming. We now have the Kali roaming to the bottom lane again, as is the way. Then again, our sequencing is a little bit off, so there's a lot of wards on this in this game, right? This is a little atypical. Wouldn't really expect this many wards. Okay, let's see the Poppy 2v3 here. We're able to, the Akali's able to flash in, but once more, wing. All right, Akali into the plants. Yeah, but we're fighting the plants. We missed the Q. Yeah, it's not so good. The ground, it doesn't really. Pixels, a game of pixels. And, that's a cool froze animation, though. Freeze animation. But he stole your ult, and he uses your ult against us. He will, of course, heal. And we chuck out an Oreo, and it doesn't do enough. Ezreal, we use a W to speed up and get out of range. There's too much of this collapse stuff. Like, hey, I'm going to rotate 1v3. You're Poppy. You're not Hecarim with 12 kills. You're Poppy. You have to understand what your champion can and cannot do. And that's not a thing she can do. She's strong, yes, but she needs people to play around. You're not going to go 1v9ing a side lane in Zyra plans, when people are when your whole team are already dead. It's not going to happen. We're level 10 now. Sylas is level 11. He has now broken out of 13. Maybe a bit more CS lead, which is a bit of an issue. We have our Krug camp spawning in ISO. Deep wards on our Raptors. We're having to cross the map up to our Wolves. Now we see this wave here. We're like, yeah, I'll take this cannon minion, which we lose anyway. We're going to E this and push this up even though the caster is showing up. We know this guy's going here. The Yone is stealing the red. He will be Collapsed, so we're shadowing this. There's a lack of purpose. There's a lack of camps. There's a lack of, hey, what should I do now? In this particular case, it's, well, that was not a good decision to go down to the bottom side. Therefore, I need to farm my camps a little bit more. See, this would not be a good decision. I don't really care if this pans out. There you go. Nice ult by the Ezreal, though. Global ults and low elo coaching channel always hits. Doesn't hit on the gameplay channel. Always hits on the low elo channel. So in this particular case, if you're Poppy, you die. You're sad. Just go topside and take your camps. Look for this thing. Hold this if you want to. If this is crashing, you can hold this as well. All we had was a Krug camp. So basically, you're looking for topside for this. You're watching Yone, but you're not necessarily going to go fight and die for it. Now, Zyra gets caught out and dies. Poppy is, of course, dead. So the more you're dead, and even though it's only 2 deaths, right? It feels like it's more than 2 deaths because she's compromising herself quite a bit. Urgot, Yone. 13 versus 13. I mean, how often can you say that? Both top laners, same level. No one's feeding. CS is decent for the elo. Not bad. Poppy now leaves the base. She smites the wolves. We see that, and now we watch this trade here. The Yone. Oh, okay, he flashes in. He's like, I got you now. Yone's like, yeah, but I've got the magic button. There we go. And Poppy sees that and it's like, okay, I could rotate to this. This looks like something that might go. Oh, never mind. You got the kill. So if that does happen, now shadow. Let him push up. Take this. Obviously, we see the Sylas here, so we're going to rotate to that as well. That's a good swap. That's a good swap. Ideally here, but if you see this, okay, rotate, get the kill. Both, obviously, sound decisions, but that's a better decision in this particular case. Ezreal Arcane shifts. We do have our W. Oh, no, I'm not on Ezreal. Ezreal had his W. Poppy didn't. But again, like, this is now good, actually. Do this, rotate to this. Unlucky. See this. Okay, now I'm going to shadow my Yone. Get the kill in the Ezreal. This is nice. This is good. We enjoy this. Now the Akali's going in onto the Yone. Poppy is shadowing to protect. Fuse. Zyra's moving on up. Let's put it onto this. No Kai'Sa, so now you want to be careful. You want to be careful because everyone is respawning, or respawned, Ezreal's respawning, and we have only 3 members. Now, walking out through here is kind of dangerous. I would put a control ward somewhere if you're going to have it. Like, she has it, place it. Run, they see you. Harley's top side, Thresh. Cassio shown up as well. Hooks, Poppy loops back around the backside here. Is able to do that. Lyra activates the full combo, but doesn't use any plants. Like Bacon from the Discord, that's what that looks like. Kai'Sa's just chilling in the bot side, but now we've got picks onto the Sylas. So we can just go ahead and do the Baron with Cassiopeia pretty damn quickly, I think. No Kai'Sa, which is a bit of an issue, but that's fine. We rinse it. Super nice. Can we finish off this quadrant if we need the cash money gold? We got 2.1. I mean, I would base here. Want to finish the quadrant. You need the wolves for your item completion. Go back to base. Now you can spend maximum. Go out, join the bottom side. Now we have this and this pressure. We kind of want to take this as soon as possible. We want to get into the blue side so we can fall back to the subsequent dragon once we've got all this Baron pressure up here. But that was a game-winning rotation by the Poppy, actually. This, steal this, loop back around to help. Really good. Really good. You can win games like that. Even if your early game is not perfect, you'd make good positioning decisions, unlike this one. 84 seconds on the... See, now we're basing, and our Yone is splitting, our Cassio's pushing, our Kai'Sa's solo. This is where there's risk. Because if the enemy team decides to go in and fight, and you're not present, that's when you can lose games. But fortunately, we're able to get back on the map quickly, and it's a Hextech map as well. Alright. Probably dead. Yone is shoving up. Obviously, Kai'Sa dies splitting because that's what ADCs do in this elo. I understand. The Sylas shows top lane. Now they're all going to collapse, so now we want to reposition and get out. We have W as we need. That was good. Very nice. Very nice. Look to steal their camps. Nothing available. Dragon is respawning. We kind of want to take that. Why are you going top side? Dragon is respawning. Kai'Sa can join us. They're all moving on down. Do I want to start this up and coin flip it? The big question. Would kind of probably just... I mean, you could steal it, but... Poppy ult. Goodbye, Sylas. TP from the Cassiopeia. Thresh is still topside. Kai'Sa is here as well. We do have the advantage now because of that TP and Kai'Sa being here. We're able to steal it as well. Alright, nicely done. As we say in the game, a play was made. Although we obviously will die from it, so this is my downside to it. Cassio. Urgot, Cassio. Urgot, Cassio. Hey, she popped off. A play was made. This guy does this. All right, that's fine. I will live with that. I think you will all live with that as well. Excellently done in terms of, hey, we have the TP. We knocked out the Sylas. Now we can actually do something. Kai'Sa is on our side. Thresh top lane is the tragedy here. He should not be here at all. He should be here with us. And that makes this a complete free fight, right? You kill everybody, you steal that like you did absolute beast smite, and then you can go push this, steal this, shove up this, boom, 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 boom. Yone's taking care of this. Game over very, very quickly. So, well done to the blue team. Everyone just made a play. Cassio popped off in the fight. Poppy got the steal. Thresh is the downside here. Thresh is the duck. Thresh is the ugly duckling. Don't know why you're topside, my friend, but he was. Poppy now goes straight down to the bottom side. Forces a TP for some peculiar and odd reason from the Urgot. And Sylas is not holding this. We have Cassiopeia here with the Thresh. I don't like kind of being shilling for nothing. I mean, if you're going to be the split pusher here, kind of handle the business, then sure, but ideally it's like, hey, look, I can do this quadrant, join mid lane, or I can do this out and go through deep here, you know. Wait for your team to make the right play. Cassio obviously needs the base as well. Yep, snack that and get out. Now we can do a red side quadrant. Kind of want to push inhib here or push bottom lane. As is the way. Yeah, 2 mid, 2 mid, 2 mid, you have numbers. While there's 2 mid, you have numbers. Now TP is committed, which we will of course by this stage see. So you just want to be a bit cautious here now because you don't have a Kai'Sa. So now we need to do the big disengage. Respect flash is good. Disengage, disengage, disengage. Poppy ult is available. Cassiopeia into the Yone. Carly's too deep. Oh my god. Oh, she flies. She dies. We have a good team here. So now most people will be like, well, my team doesn't do this. I mean, this is a bronze-silver game, my friends. These people are all bronze and silver for many years. You don't remember these games because you focus on the negatives. You have teams like this. Poppy, at the very least, is putting herself in a position to play around it, and that's the difference. If you are not here, 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 if you're not taking the Raptors, if you're not in those positions and your team are, and you're doing your own blue side and farming, then obviously you're not going to have that team because they need you. They need your body. They need your CC, your disengage, your W. They need you to be present. You are a member of the team. And even if you're not popping off, are you doing what's necessary to win around the players who are clearly playing well? In this case, yes. Therefore, deserved. Now, again, we take this. We want to go deep. No Yone on the map here. No Thrush on the map here. So I think I like our concept of, hey, let's fall back to this quadrant, quickly snack it, and sync up with them. Cassio's like, look, I can do this. Let me do it. I'll get out. That's also fine. Dragon's the thing that's spawning, so we can cut this and cut down. Itemization, we're at 1800 again. Go back to base. We have Hex Tech. That's fine. Well, as I said, I can take these and get out. She dies. Yeah. So, yeah. Just don't be that Cassiopeia, please. Dragon spawning. Yone and Thresh are not on the map. Better to kind of stick out. Thresh pushes mid lane with their Baron, which is actually good for vision line. You could actually, if this was not Thresh, you could threaten the inhib, which is good. It's warded here now. They've pinged it. Do we need to go to the soul right now? No. Ideally, we want to go ahead and do it, but if our team is not willing to do anything and we have a dead Cassiopeia, I think I would prefer our team to just burn it. And if they rotate, we leave. And we have to give it, we have to give it. But a good bit of pressure here worked because Ezra rotates. So now it is a 4v4. Can we win the fight 4v4 without the Cassiopeia? That's the question. What I can guarantee you is that the red team knows that there's no Thresh and no Poppy. So 4v2 engage. Ezra ultimate just misses, but yeah. Poppy ult, no. So there you go. No Cassio means you don't really want to split up a coin flip. You want to stick together. Force rotation by the Ezreal. Yeah. Either way, typical, I think, at this particular stage. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Cassio splitting top lane. Just don't die would be my... Or that. Or just kill them. Yeah. Can we stop the ports? TB committed as well. Can we stop the ports? Just push mid, push mid, push mid, push mid. Don't worry about them. Just push mid, get pressure. TB by the Yona. Okay, yeah, it's good. There we go. Good push. Pick up the Oreo for the shield as well. Yona can collapse with the Cassio. Don't over commit. Just take the double inhib. Nice. There you go. That should be GG, I think. Because now we can rotate to the bottom side. Why are we going to the Raptors? Rotate to the bottom side. Wolves, Grom, shatter your team. Again, it's the same thing. Okay, so Yone does dumb things. But so do we, because we should be there as well. You be that way sometimes. Hello, Sylas. Why are you here by yourself? Hey. Oh, well. If he anticipated that hook in this elo, I would have been very impressed, I think. We all would have been very impressed had that been the case. But I think, you know, with no TP on the Yone, again, you want to kite back a little bit. Wait for... Apparently, I'm way too reserved. You want to wait for these things to push, in theory. The Poppy's like, you know what? I see the Akali going back to base. I see you're against the wall. I'm going to just make sure I hit this WE, get that auto attack Q, and you're going to go boing, good night. She is able to flash to reposition. Zyra's ultimate does nothing. And now we can basically zone with the Thresh. The Cassiopeia follows up. Burn damage, backline damage from the Kai'Sa. Peel the Sylas, peel the Sylas, peel the Sylas. Nice E. Again, nice Q there as well. Getting that slow, getting the percentage damage. Next target, next target, next target. Zyra's by herself. Well done by the Poppy. Really, honestly, two huge plays for me. This rotation into this, into this, into this, into this. Super good. And then I loved this, actually. I loved it. We saw the angle. We see the Akali. We make the play. We position well. We peel well. That's the good stuff. That's how you can win games in this elo very well. Now, imagine if she fixes her early game, gets ahead a little bit earlier, and is actually able to get to this stage further, get to this stage faster, but also be more fed, be more of a carry potential threat in these kinds of games when her teammates aren't as good. You can imagine the possibilities. Thank you very much for watching. Virkayu to GG for your coaching, courses, and coaching VOD library, and anything else jungling related. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.